We are back and continuing our discussion about healthy relationships. In these portions today, we are going to talk about two dynamics of unhealthy relationships: persuade and blame.
Blame means it's your fault, not mine. To persuade is to cause someone to believe or do something through reasoning, argument, or insinuation. You can persuade someone for good reasons or bad reasons, with a right motive or a wrong motive. And often we don't even realize when we're trying to control and manipulate someone through persuasion.
Some people look like they have the gift of persuasion.
Some people are easily persuaded.
I don't know what you're talking about. In the last portion, we learned that we all have legitimate needs.
But a needy person needs others to make them feel okay. A healthy person understands that they are not dependent on others to be okay. Each person should take responsibility for their part of the relationship.
Correct.
Like we talked about with the plant in the last portion, I'm responsible for me and my actions and how I manage our relationship. You're responsible for you and your actions and how you decide to take care of this relationship.
Yes, correct. I am not responsible for you. You are not responsible for me, but you and I together are responsible for this relationship. There is no need to persuade or manipulate in order to get you to meet my needs or make me feel okay.
To demand or insist that someone meet our needs or expectation is a way of persuading or manipulating or controlling them so that we can feel secure. Putting high expectations on others to meet our needs is a way that we try to make ourselves feel secure in the midst of uncertainty. Anytime we do not feel secure in God, it's likely we will seek to feel secure by some other means.
When I choose to persuade others to be and do what I need to feel secure, I am choosing to live independent of God and believing that something outside of God can meet my needs. Anytime you put another person in the position of God in your life, that person has become an idol, and the relationship will not be healthy.
From the beginning, man has used blame and persuasion or control or manipulation in relationships to meet his needs and feel secure.
And we are using the word persuade instead of control because we really can't control anyone.
Yeah, we can only try to control them by persuading them that they have no power to choose. So we see in Genesis 3 when Adam blamed God and Eve for his problems. Adam chose to eat the fruit. It was his decision. But instead of taking responsibility for his decision and actions, he told God, it's the woman that you gave me, blaming both God and Eve for his decision. And then Eve said, the devil made me do it.
So it is natural, it's a default from the beginning of time for us to want to blame others for negative feelings and result in life. Many people go through life in a continual cycle of blaming others for their problems or unmet needs and then trying to persuade
or control.
to fix their problems or meet their needs.
So they blame others because things aren't going well in life, and then they try to persuade them to take responsibility and fix it so that can be okay. And if they don't do it, then they blame them again.
Yes. We often think if we are not okay, that is someone else's fault.
That's blame. And blame is a lie that we believe that says, I'm not responsible for myself. Others are responsible for me. I don't have power over myself or my life. Other people have power over me. But blame gives others the power to direct and control our life.
Yes. For many years, I blame my daddy because he didn't meet my expectations that I put on him. Right? Even though he gave me everything what I needed, I felt I need more to be accepted in this society and have better future. I blame him for negative circumstances in my life and believed the lie that it was his fault, that I was limited in my relationships and opportunities because of his decision.
And that blame was a lie that allowed your dad's decisions to have power over your choices and limited you.
Yes. And when God revealed the truth that destroyed the lie, I was able to forgive my daddy, receive the healing from the hurt his decision and my unmet expectation caused me, then I realized that I was able to make a powerful choices despite what my father has done or not done, and I move beyond the limitations and consequences of his decision to receive abundant provision from my heavenly Father.
You know, there are times in life that we were hurt by people who had a responsibility to care for and protect us, especially when we were young and vulnerable and dependent on older people to care for us. And those hurts are real, and the actions that they caused, that they did towards us, were wrong.
Yes. Once we are old enough, like in my situation, we are responsible and have the power to make the decision whether we will allow the actions of those people to continue to control us and negatively impact our life.
Yeah, I remember the story of baby elephants that you can just tie them with a rope to a stake, and they can't move because they're not powerful enough.
Yeah.
But then when they get older and they are powerful enough, you can tie them with the same rope to the same stake, and they won't move.
Yes.
Because they still believe that they don't have the power, even though they do. And that's what happens sometimes with us. When we're small and we don't have power, things happen in our lives, and we grow up believing that we're powerless. But there comes a point when we are powerful.
Yes, like my life was controlled for so many years for what happened when I was a baby. We are not responsible for the decisions others make that hurt us, but we are responsible for what we do with the hurt. We have the choice to be bitter or angry or blame others. It is our decision ultimately. We don't have to give anyone the power to be like a vacuum sucking life, energy, and joy from our lives.
If this is happening in a relationship, if someone is sucking the life from you, it's your responsibility to make adjustments and put whatever limits are necessary to keep yourself and the relationship as healthy as possible. Take responsibility for your part, placing healthy limits with consequences to keep yourself and the relationship healthy. Again, like Dr. Klaus says, you get what you create or allow.
Or allowed. We can choose to release blame and control and invite God to heal us. Jesus is willing to heal any area of our life that we are willing to be honest and vulnerable enough to acknowledge and bring it to Him. As long as I am blaming others, it will be difficult for me to release of the offenses and take responsibility to look to God for the healing. God wants to give me a lot.
He's ready to heal us when we're ready to go take it to Him.
Yes.
A healthy person has legitimate needs, but is not a needy person. They can express needs in a healthy way in relationships. A healthy person knows that their happiness and needs being met is completely dependent on God as their source. They offer value to relationships and don't depend on the relationships to make them feel valuable.
Yes. They bring their strength to the relationship rather than always looking for others to give them strength.
And the way other people treat them or relate to them doesn't change their feelings of self-worth or the way they respond to that person.
We can learn from God how to relate to others in a healthy way, even when the other person doesn't honor the relationship. God didn't blame Adam for the disconnection his decision brought in their relationship, but He did follow through on the consequences of crossing the boundaries He had placed on the relationships.
Yes, and God took responsibility for what He could do to bring restoration to the relationship by devising a plan to reconnect us back to Him through Jesus without blame or persuasion.
Yes.
Leaving us to the choice to accept Him or reject Him.
Ultimately, it's your choice to accept or reject God's invitation to reconnect. To have healthy, long-lasting relationship, it is necessary that we are responsible and powerful to take responsibility for our lives and manage our response to others' decisions and actions.
No one in the world is responsible to be another source of joy, identity, and comfort that only God can provide. When we put that burden on another to supply our needs and to be our source, we are at risk of living in fear and anxiety every time we can't control them and assure that our needs will be met.
The truth is that others will make decisions that we don't like, and that will be painful for us. But no one is responsible for our reactions to them but us. God gave you the power to choose how you will respond. You do not have to be a victim in relationships.
Your security and value does not depend on another person. When I place my expectation on others to meet my needs, then like I said, it creates fear that they will let me down and not meet my needs. And so I'm going to probably try to persuade or manipulate or control them to meet my needs. And when they don't, then I'll blame them for my problems.
Yep. 1 John 4:18 says, there is no fear in love, but full-grown, complete, perfect love turns fear out of doors and expel every trace of terror. For fear brings with it the thought of punishment. And so he who is afraid has not reached the full maturity of love. He is not yet growing to love's complete perfection.
We're not responsible for the decisions that other people make, which cause us pain and hurt. But we are responsible for what we do with the pain and fear.
Fear is also a lie. The enemy of love is fear. And fear limits our ability to give and receive love with God and others.
Perfect love casts out fear. Fear casts out love.
Yeah.
God's love is so complete that there's no place for fear in love. God is not afraid of what we have done or what we will do. Love is our teacher. Fear is our enemy. Love allows us to learn from fear as it leads us to wisdom and power.
Yes.
Love and fear can't occupy the same place. That's why the verse says love casts out fear. But in the same way, fear can cast out love.
Yes. God's love for us does not change even when we fail him or hurt him. We can choose to love others despite pain and fear because we are depending on God as our source of value, acceptance, and love.
Relationships are an important and vital part of our life. Learning to relate in a healthy, loving ways to others can be a challenge to our personal development. It's not easy. We're talking about these things, but we're not perfect. We're still in the process of learning how to do this. It's not easy.
But I wish I knew this 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We need to know how to manage, not punish, persuade, or fear, but manage in healthy way people and relationships that are not healthy. This includes knowing how to resolve and manage conflict, communicate, and put in place healthy boundaries. Not, boundaries that protect both people and relationship. We will talk more about this in the following
Next class is boundaries.
Next classes, yes.
As disciples of Christ, our spiritual calling is to be rooted in God's love and to love others. Jesus said there's no greater commandment than these. Through our relationship with God and receiving his forgiveness and love, we can learn from God how to love others.